Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Courtney. Today I've got two Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs for you and two very quick announcements. So the first one is these two DIYs are what I would consider a very easy DIY to do. Any level of crafter could do them. However, this past weekend, it literally took me off and on all day Saturday and Sunday to get them done because I was just off my DIY game. Like, I was way off my DIY game. And I never came back. I just stayed way off of it. And so, as you know, I like to keep it real on this channel. So I'm going to show you where I thought I had great ideas, where they failed, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes and waste the materials like I did. So this is definitely one of those roller coaster DIYs where it's just like up and down and up and down and up and down. And also my Facebook Live Craft With Me has been finalized. It's going to be a week from this Friday, which will be November 8th. 7:30 p.m. Central Time. There is a post in my Facebook group in the pinned announcements section that has all of the details, the supply list. We are making those fabric wrapped ornaments, ribbon wrapped ornaments, so you can find all the details on Facebook. If you're not part of my Facebook group, the link is down below. Just please make sure when you click join group that you do answer the one membership question, because if you don't, you won't be accepted into the group. The turnaround time for once you ask to join the group is really pretty quickly. It's within a few hours. So if it's been days and you're still waiting to find out if you're in the group, it's probably because you didn't answer that question. So I did want to let you know that is creeping up, and I guess that's it. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy these roller coaster DIYs. Let's go. For this first project, I will be using one of these tags from Dollar Tree, and I just took a little bit of sandpaper and kind of sanded off the glitter, but the back will now become my front and the front will now become my back. So I'm going to remove this little red ribbon, save it for later on, and then I will be taking some Waverly white chalk paint and I will be painting one coat on this side right here and then two coats on the side that was actually the front. Hopefully I haven't confused you and you guys are still with me. While the front of my tag dries, I'm going to take one of these packs of candy canes from Dollar Tree, and I'm only going to need one. And I found this really pretty sparkly red and white twine at Home Goods. It's just really, 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 really pretty. The sparkles attracted me to it. It isn't a lot of it on the roll, I have to say. My original plan was to buy this to wrap a mason jar, and there's no way that'd be enough. But this is enough to wrap a candy cane. So I'm going to start at the bottom and taking just some hot glue. I'm going to secure the bottom by just kind of swirling it around the base. Sorry, it's a little out of focus right here. It'll focus in just a second. And then I'm just going to wrap all the way up and then secure it at the top of the candy cane. The candy cane is all wrapped, and really the camera doesn't show it, but these are just so sparkly and pretty. And here is how much of the twine that I used from this roll, so you could probably get 2, maybe 3 more candy canes. And now, like I mentioned, since the front of the tag is dry, I'm going to go and paint the back of the tag, which originally was the front. I know, confusing, but you know what I'm saying, with 2 coats of the white chalk paint. The tag is dry, and now I'm ready to work on the lettering. So I'm going to be using stamps to do my letters, and this is the stamp set I'm using. I got it from Tuesday Morning quite a while ago, and I just like it because it has the little clear base here and you can see what you're doing, which is really nice because there's less room for error that way. But right now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to position the candy cane and the words, and in my mind when I was doing this I had the full intention of putting Vintage Candy Cane Company, but after I stamped it out, I just did Vintage Candy Company, and well, I just ran with that. So right now I'm just, like I said, just trying to figure out where I'm going to put all my words, and I'll start to stamp. I thought I wanted the co for company to be a big C, or a capital C and a capital O, but it looks stupid. It just looks stupid. So I changed the big O to the little O, and it looked way better, I thought. So I went ahead and stamped that on there, and of course I didn't have a little period to put after the co, so I just took my black Arteza paint marker and I just simply did one. You certainly could use a Sharpie if you don't have paint markers, but I am pretty happy with how this turned out so far. And this is where the sign went downhill, but I quickly brought it back up, so I stamped my 2 down and didn't push hard enough. Then I stamped my 5 down, I pushed a little bit harder, but still not hard enough. And then I pushed the C down, and the C only filled in halfway, and then I realized I really didn't even like that C. So I basically had to go in with the paintbrush and kind of fix everything. And that was, of course, after I took my black marker and filled in the 2 and the 5 and the C way too dark. And then I took my paintbrush and fixed it. And then I went back in with my paint marker and fixed it. So I'll just let you kind of watch and see kind of how I messed up and then brought it back to where I wanted it. And here's where this scent sign starts to go terribly wrong. Can you guess what I'm about to say right here as I'm trying to fix this? Yeah, this is the point where I go, whatever, and I just paint over the entire C, and then I go back in and just basically freehand my C with the paint marker. While my little correction is drying there, I decided to take some of the ink Waverly chalk paint and I'm just going to brush around the edges. And then after I go around the edges, I realize I just want to brush the entire sign with what I like to call my wonky brush. And in case you're wondering, this right here is my wonky brush. So like I said, I'm just gonna lightly brush over the front of this little tag here, and then I am getting close to being finished. To attach my candy cane, I'm simply just going to use some hot glue, and I'm just going to put about 4 or 5 blobs on the back. I'm not going to line the entire thing just because I don't really want the glue to kind of seep over the edges, and 4 to 5 blobs was plenty. I just kind of applied some pressure and it was perfectly fine. Then after this, I kind of got a brainstorm that I wanted to add like an established date with the year, and so I messed with that for a minute, and then I realized, you know what, never mind, I don't want to do that. Then my last step was to take a piece of twine, and all I did was just fold it in half, pull it through the hole, pull the tails through the loop, I hope I'm making sense here, and then just knot it off, and then that is the finishing touch to this really cute little tag. And here it is, all finished. I do plan to put this on my hot chocolate bar in my kitchen because the theme of my kitchen is kind of sweets and treats and candy. And now let's move in to the second DIY. For this project, you'll need a little coffee sign, again from the Dollar Tree. And instead of just ripping this thing off like She-Ra Princess of Power, if you have any idea what I'm talking about, comment down below. If not, just smile and nod. I decided to unscrew this because I thought maybe I'd want to use the clip, but in all reality, I ended up just throwing it away. But you know what? That's okay. Then once that was taken off, I just went ahead and sanded over the circle. Now this is when I thought I was going to be using this side to make my little peppermint hot chocolate mocha thing. But in a minute, again, I'm going to end up just flipping it over to the back and using the back as the front and the front as the back. So like I said, I do kind of start on this side, and what I did was take some white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just trying to kind of paint the lid with strokes that are kind of rounded, I guess, so that it kind of follows the shape. And then after I start doing this, I realized that maybe I should yank the paper off, and I start to peel the paper off. And this is where this project starts to go south, because then I thought it would be an awesome idea to put Goo Gone on the label to try to get it off. And all I did was just make it smell weird and be wet. So then at that point is when I realized, why am I just not using the back? And that's kind of how this one went downhill. But again, I did bring it back up, but I do have another hiccup here in just a second. Right now I'm thinking to myself, how in the world am I going to put this little stand back on the back? But then I'm like, you know what, I'll worry about it later. So I'm going to go ahead and sand where I pulled off the hardware so that I can go ahead and paint this side that I want to paint. You guys said that y'all like real life crafting, so what I've done is I sanded this. It's all smooth, and now I pick up this little stand part again, trying to figure out how in the heck I'm going to get this attached back, because by this time I've already ripped part of the stand off, and it's real thin up at the top of it. So I stare at it for a while, mess with it for a while. I'll show you kind of what I try, but I do end up making it work by ultimately just not even using the hardware. I just use the brown little stand part. Just throw the hardware away. Okay, took a break from messing with the stand, and I'm just taking some of the Waverly White chalk paint, and I'm going to paint that where the lid goes. And then for the actual coffee cup part, I'm going to paint it with the Crimson Waverly chalk paint. Okay, so I'm going to take this little wooden circle that I had left over from another Dollar Tree sign. If you don't have something like this, just get a piece of foam board and you can cut a little circle. And I'm going to go in and paint it with 3 coats of the Waverly White chalk paint. I picked up this sheet of window clings from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the red and white peppermint one, but I need to trim off the little wrapper part of it. So I'm just going to cut this out, and then using my rounded blade Fisker scissors, I'm just going to cut around the peppermint so that it's a nice perfect circle. Okay, so I'm going to show you this because this actually happened in this process, and I, like I said, like to keep it real. So after I cut out my little peppermint, I don't know why, I really don't know why I did this. I took a piece of transfer paper and I thought to myself, I'm just going to use that little peppermint, and I am just going to trace the outline of this little peppermint onto my wooden circle, and then I will paint it. Guys, I really don't know why I did this. I did it, and then I start to paint it, and then, well, you'll see, I scratch it and go with my original plan, which was to just Mod Podge on the window cling. Now to add the little sleeve to my hot chocolate cup, I'm just taking a piece of this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it down to the front and then secure it in the back. And then I will take a piece and just go ahead and finish out the back, because I'm going to try to make the back look as pretty as I can, even though, again, it'll be up against the wall and you won't really see it, but it's just one of those things knowing that the back is all nice and neat. Okay, at this point is when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this stand back on here, no problem. I'm gonna attach the hardware to this, and I'll attach the hardware to the little hot chocolate cup. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably in my top 10 worst DIY moments of my life. Time spent doing stupid things that I just wasted my time. At some point, I pull a hammer in and thinking I can just hammer this back on there. Yeah, you can't do that. Just don't even bother trying that. After I messed with it for a bit, I just said, never mind, I will make this work. And I found a way around having to use the hardware, and yeah, really not a good moment for me here. So now what I'm doing is taking a break from putting the stand on the back because I was very frustrated at this point, and I'm just kind of going in and sketching what I think I might want the lid to look like. Now I'm going to go ahead and say at this point, I'm still not 100% on how the lid looks on my final product. I have an idea, I might tweak it, and if I do, I will post a picture of it on Instagram and in my Facebook group so you can kind of see how I ended up going up and fixing it. But right now I'm sketching out, and then I'm going to take that black Arteza marker again, and here I start going in with just a really thin line, and then I do a super thick line, and then I don't like the thick line, so I paint over the thick line back to white, and then I go back to the thin line. So here's another part where I just really struggled. Again, I really don't know why, guys. It just was one of those weekends where nothing was going right. Okay, here are my last few steps. So basically all I did was I took some hot glue, I pressed down the stand kind of exactly where I wanted it to prop itself up and hold it there, and then I just went in and secured it really good with hot glue in the back. So when you store this, obviously it's going to be like this. It's not going to lay flat because it doesn't have that hinge in there, but I was totally okay with that at this point. And then once the stand is attached, I'm going to go ahead and attach my little peppermint using some hot glue, and then this project is all finished, at least for now, until I fix the lid. Alright, and again, here it is all finished. Like I said, I'm not 100% on the lid. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But I think I'm going to get some glitter glue involved. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am super excited for the month of November. I've got some really exciting things happening on my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up if you are loving Christmas DIYs, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!